Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that link below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you won't miss out on any of our amazing future content. Now, in today's video, we're going to be doing another single product review. In this series, we take one product, usually available at the drugstore, and we tear it apart. We look at the pros, the cons, we do a deep dive into the ingredients, and we work out ultimately whether there's space for it in your skincare routine. For the regular viewers of this channel, you might be a bit bemused as to why I've decided to do a single product review on this product, which is the INKEY List Mineral Sunscreen. I've already featured this in a video. I did this at new launches video, which I will link up there, and I featured this product. However, I thought for new people to the channel, and also those that might have just done a YouTube search, looked for a bit more information on this product, it might be really useful because it's really hard to find a mineral SPF at drugstore prices. They are out there, but often they're a bit niche, they're hard to find. And so I feel like the INKEY List are really spotted a gap in the market and they filled it with their new mineral SPF. This product is priced at £14 here in the UK, $20 in the US. That is a really good price point for a mineral SPF. They often come in at a higher price point than their chemical equivalents just because they don't sell in the same volumes, so companies have to put a little bit more on the price to make up for spread the cost of the research and development onto a smaller number of units, which leads to a higher per unit cost. It's just one of the facts of life. Hopefully as more people get onto the mineral sunscreens, then hopefully the price of them will come down. But the INKEY List clearly spotted that gap in the market and have brought to market a fantastic drugstore priced mineral SPF, so I think it's worthy of a separate review in its own right. So this product is based around zinc oxide, which is one of the two main ingredients you find in chemical sunscreens. That's a fantastic ingredient because A, it provides that physical shield which will just deflect and reflect all of the UV rays from the sun, preventing them from doing damage or aging us or burning us, which is fantastic. It also means that it's reef safe. Some of the chemicals used in chemical sunscreens are can have a detrimental impact on coral reef development, and therefore just should be avoided if you're even dipping your toe into the sea. So this is completely reef safe, so great to use if you're swimming in the sea or bathing. Absolutely fantastic. I also love the fact that it claims to not leave a white cast. Some of the mineral sunscreens we're used to, because zinc oxide and titanium dioxide can be quite, well, they are white particles. They could come across very ashy on darker skin tones, and they can also give that flashback, that white cast on almost everyone's skin tone. So I like the fact that they've taken steps to try and avoid that, and we'll talk through how they've done that later on in the review. So in terms of what this is, it's a zinc oxide based mineral SPF, but with an added non-cosmetic colorant to it. What that will do is just give a very light tint, which will take away from some of that white cast and that ashiness that you can get from using a mineral sunscreen, which should mean it appears invisible on the skin and doesn't have that same sort of mask-like appearance which you can get with some of the traditional older style mineral sunscreens. So I love that. Let's get really into what we want, which is looking at the ingredients. Unlike a lot of modern mineral sunscreens, they've gone for non-nano zinc oxide. So zinc oxide can come in a number of different forms, and a lot of companies take the zinc oxide particle and shrink it as small as possible, because that nanotechnology just means it leaves, statistically, it leaves less of a white cast on the skin and is more easily tolerated by the skin, so it doesn't appear quite as ashy or as white on the skin. However, there are studies out there, and they are few and far between, so I don't want anyone to get too het up on this, that do say some of the benefits, some of the reason people go for mineral sunscreens over chemical is because the minerals aren't absorbed into the body like they are with the chemical sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens can be absorbed into the body, and the jury's out there depending on which scientific papers you read as to whether they do any harm once they're in the body. However, with a mineral SPF, the ingredients sit on the skin, and so they don't have that same concern which people have. That's one of the main reasons why people are switching to mineral sunscreens over chemical. However, as this nanotechnology has emerged and the particle sizes of the zinc and the titanium dioxide have got smaller and smaller and smaller, so has the worry that these then can become absorbed by the body and kind of be a bit defeat the object of moving from a chemical to a mineral SPF. So I love the fact that the INKEY List have just gone full force, full-sized zinc oxide, which means you're not going to have any of that concern around the size of the particles and potential absorption into the body. So that is like really good, and I think this is something you don't often see in modern mineral SPF. So I love that. It's something a little bit different, and therefore it's a really good sunscreen option for people that do want to move away from chemical sunscreens because some of the risks associated with them, whether you believe they're founded or unfounded. So I think this is a really good option for people. I like the fact it's got a tint in there, which will just prevent some of that ashiness and that white cast, though I'll come on to how effective that's actually going to be later on in the video. In terms of the other ingredients that we see in this product, we have silicones and dimethicones. A lot of people out there say, oh, silicones, they're really bad to clog the skin. There is no scientific evidence that silicones clog the skin and do have any detrimental impact for the skin. They're included in products like this because they make the product smoother, they make it easier to apply, and they make it more enjoyable. People like a smooth, textured product, and silicones and dimethicones add together to give that texture that we all crave. It makes it goes on the skin better, it skims the pores, so we'll give a slight improvement to the texture of the skin, which, to be honest, who doesn't want that? And so that's not an asset. I think it's a lovely addition to the product. It's got shea butter in here. I love shea butter. It's super moisturizing, and I often, as someone who has super oily skin, I like my SPF to be moisturizing enough that I don't need to put a separate moisturizer on. It gets away from the fact of which moisturizer do I choose? Do I feel too heavy after I've put both on? So this is lovely and moisturizing. For somebody who has dry skin, I would recommend you still use a moisturizer as well as this, but because that addition of the shea butter means anyone who's normal to oily can get away with using this as their moisturizer, which is absolutely fantastic. Cuts down on the cost because you don't need an extra product, and it cuts down on the faff and the hassle, and will give a more lightweight finish, so I love that. It's got squalane in here, which again is a fantastic moisturizer, but will also just improve the slipperiness of the product and give it a nicer feel when you apply it. One of the things which people often call out about this is it has got vitamin C in here. However, it is right down at the bottom of the ingredients list. The ingredients lists on cosmetics, for those that don't know, tend to go in the order, there are some exceptions, but they go in the order of concentration within the product. The fact that vitamin C is, and it's a form of vitamin C, is languishing at the bottom implies it's probably there to help stabilize the product or to amend the acidity of the product rather than to do anything to actually brighten the skin. It might have a marginal improvement in terms of the luminosity of the skin, because vitamin C is fantastic at improving the brightness of the skin, but I think because it's so far down on the ingredients list, I wouldn't read too much into that, and it certainly wouldn't be the reason I purchased this product. It's a nice to have in there. It'll add a vague amount of antioxidant quality to it as well, but it's not in significant enough quantities to actually act as a standalone antioxidant or standalone skin brightening agent. I'd still use a separate vitamin C in addition to this. So how did it go on? Well, on my skin, and I'm oily, and I did share this with a couple of friends who have normal and also drier skin. The person who I shared it with that's had dry skin said it didn't do what a lot of mineral SPFs do, which is cling to every last bit of dryness in the skin and make your skin look rough, patchy and flaky. That can be a problem because a lot of the ingredients within mineral sunscreens can be drying. So the addition of the shea butter means it doesn't do that, and it does glide on. I think the silicones help with that, so it won't stick in all the crevices and make your skin look drier than it already is. So that's really good. For me, I found it didn't break me out. I used it solidly for a week, which is enough to see whether a product's going to break you out. Usually, because my skin is very reactive, and it would normally break me out within 1 or 2 days, and it didn't, so I really like that. So I think it's definitely a suitable SPF for somebody who has slightly oilier skin. It was definitely moisturising enough that I didn't need a moisturiser afterwards, so I love that because it saves 2 steps, and also it meant I could feel it was a lightweight application, which I liked, and it's particularly important for people with oily skin whose skin can feel a little bit weighed down with the extra oil and sebum in the skin. In terms of the tint, and this is what it's all going to come down to, in terms of the tint, yes, I had zero flashback. I got some pictures taken, took a few selfies, because that's really when you've got the flash on your phone, that's when you're going to see that white cast and that flashback appear if you're wearing a mineral sunscreen. I had none of that, which is great. So clearly the addition of that tint to the product does avoid some of that. However, and this is a huge however, this is not a fully inclusive sunscreen. This is perfect for people who have skin shades similar to my own, maybe a bit lighter, maybe a tad darker, but it's all in that, what I call like that Caucasian skin tone area. This will be absolutely fine for you, and you won't get any of that ashiness or that flashback. However, if you have darker skin tones than my own, you will still get an element of white cast and flashback with this product. That's because a tint has to match the skin tone that you're applying it to, with give or take. There's a little bit of generosity around that, but give or take, somebody who has a very rich and deep skin tone, isn't going to be able to use this and have the tint which matches my skin match their skin tone. So what I would like to see is the INKEY List maybe bring out some other tints. Okay, they don't have to do a Fenty Rihanna foundation launch and have 80 different shades. I mean, that would be fully inclusive, but I think that might be a bit overkill for a SPF product. However, where you do have that little bit of generosity and it doesn't have to match entirely. However, this is not going to be applicable for people with dark skin tones. I would like the INKEY List to come out with down the line something which covers more olive skin tones and also more darker, richer skin tones, because I do think that is what's missing with this product. So overall, what do I think? It's a beautiful product on application. I loved it. I love the fact it's factor 30. It gives me the protection I need. Never bother with an SPF that's below factor 30. You're wasting your time. So I love the strength of the product. It applied really nicely. It smoothed onto the skin. It didn't clog me, which is really important. But equally, it's quite applicable for people with dry skin because it's got those added hydrators. So this really is a one size fits all in terms of skin type. Skin tone, very different. This is going to be applicable for people with a skin tone similar to my own, maybe a little bit lighter, maybe a tad darker, but within that realm. It's not going to be applicable for people with dark skin tones. Now, the INKEY List might, they might come back and challenge. I would like to see this used on an influencer, YouTube influencer with a darker skin tone, because I can't see this working. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I just can't. I wouldn't recommend you go without trying it first, because I just don't see how a tint which matches my skin tone is going to match someone with a much darker and deeper skin tone. It's just not going to work, and I would hope that the INKEY List would listen to some of the feedback that they've been given and formulate something with a deeper tint to it, which will allow that to be more accessible to olive skin tones and really the deepest, darkest shades of skin tones, those really rich skin tones, which this isn't going to cut it. So I do think, just on the face of it, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I'm losing a mark because it could be more inclusive, and they could have brought out even just 3 or 4 tinted shades. I think would make it more inclusive, if not applicable to every single person. However, they've just brought out the one. Perhaps they're testing the market and the demand for it, and that's to come out later. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt of that. However, they are losing a mark for not being fully inclusive from day one. However, the product formulation is gorgeous. I love the ingredients that they've used. I love the fact there's shea butter in there to moisturize. It really can be used from the oiliest right the way through to the driest. It's really good. A lot of people who have sensitive skin will reach for the mineral SPF because they often find it less reactive on their skin. This would be fantastic because it's unfragranced and it's done away with a lot of the nasties which you can get and react to. So it's applicable for just about everybody in terms of skin type. I really like this product. I'm going to keep using it. I've got hundreds of sunscreens on the go at the moment, so I've actually given this one away to a friend who really liked it. However, I will be looking to repurchase it because I do think it's a really good product to have. If you want to mix it up with your sunscreens, I think this is a really good product to have, and definitely did away with some of the concerns people have around the nanotechnology in mineral sunscreens. As with everything INKEY List, it can be really hard to get your hands on. It is still available on the INKEY List website, and it is available on Cult Beauty. I've left a link below to where you can purchase the product. Have a look at that if you want to know a bit more about the product, but I would definitely recommend you get your hands on it sooner rather than later, because a lot of INKEY List products are snapped up like that and take a while to come back in stock. I had that with the retinol. Absolute nightmare. I had to do without it, and I fell in love with it and then had to do without it. So if you're looking to buy this product, I probably would make your decision in a reasonably quick time frame to make sure you can get your hands on it. Check the link below if you would like a little bit more information or to make a purchase, and let me know what you think. I'd love to know, guys. Is this a product you bought and tried? Is this something you're going to try? Do you feel like we've got enough sunscreens on the market? It's saturated and you're not going to waste your money? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and you give it a big thumbs up. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.